Aloha.
Hey, babe. Look, so we're here with Caleb, and been going over the finances. And I mean, the biggest part of my debt is that we spent a ton of money in traveling in the last few years, and
Mm.
we just need to at least cut back. Like we can't travel like the way we
But what about
have
the
been.
memories? What about the memories?
The memories
Priceless
you can
memories.
say that the memories are priceless, but it's not. That's not showing up in reality when I'm $20,000 in debt,
Oh my God. Well,
and
reality is actually like budgeting like for travel every month. Like I know there's like
uh,
debt, but there has to be a budget to travel because I'm not staying at home. I'm just not. We have to
we.
like explore.
I mean, sure, yeah, I want to agree with you, but I don't know how much money I can practically be setting aside every month to travel. I know we were doing that for some time, like set aside us a travel savings, a travel bucket, and that's a big chunk of what needs to go into paying off debt right now.
It sounds really, really selfish that you can travel your way to McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and stuff, but then you're saying no to getting on a flight?
He needs to break up with her. This is essentially financial abuse. Um, there's so many things to go into talk about here, but if you have a partner and you're telling them, "Hey, we need to cut back. I'm in debt because we're traveling every single month. I'm 20K in debt," and she's saying the memories are priceless. Listen, I don't disagree. Memories are absolutely priceless. You're having a good time, but not when it's on someone's financial back. Not when that person, the one that's facilitating these things, are telling you, "Hey, these things need to stop." But part of the issue here is you can see in the way he's talking to her. You can see that the minute he cuts back or he turns that spigot off, she's out. She's gone. This is indicative of someone that does not really care about who you are, but cares about what you can do for them. And before we dissect this awful video, guys, just hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Um, hit the make sure your notification bell is turned on so you don't miss uploads. And yeah, well, this is part of the Sticky series, but we're going after it, and we're talking more financial literacy, financial information on this one. If you guys aren't familiar with Caleb Hammer, I mean, I'd be surprised if you're not familiar with who Caleb Hammer is, but he does like financial audits and goes over all your debt and to see what's happening. He usually offers like services afterwards too. He can sometimes be a bit abrasive, sometimes annoying, but I think when people sign up for the show, they understand that that's part of it, right? He actually will tell you beforehand that this is how it's going to look, how it's going to go, the light that's you're going to be painted in. But one of the things I want to focus on here, financially, who you're with is going to be one of the biggest determinant factors of your financial success. If you and that person are not on the same page, then you'll find yourself in something like this. We understand financial abuse and sort of withholding from your spouse or your significant other and not allowing them, having the tightest reins on the finances to keep them in check, to make sure they can't do things you don't approve of. But for men, when you don't understand your value, your worth, and your self esteem is so low, and someone is with you just for the money, you don't seem to understand. You think your love for them is tied intrinsically by how much you spend on them or how much you, not always how much you spend, but what you allow them to do. This is a case where he's walked himself into this. And the only solution here isn't a budget, isn't getting tighter with the finances, is cutting her off entirely. That'll be a great indicator for you to see where she sort of stands in this sort of picture. If this makes sense for you to continue this, I'm a firm believer that you should not. But let's continue.
Like, just it's not adding up.
I also need to cut back on eating out, but like that doesn't change the fact that the what we spend in travel is still more than what I'm spending on eating out.
I don't even want to hear it. I genuinely don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Okay, here, give me the phone. Okay.
So this is, to me, this is one of the things that happens when you grow up, when you actually start to value yourself, and not so you grow up, but when you value yourself, when you understand that you intrinsically have value, what you want, what's important to you, that's it, full stop. Sometimes I think we should take the cue from women who value their happiness, who value how their happiness is in the larger picture, in the large universe. You are the you have the keys to the kingdom, the keys to the purse strings, and you're trying to convince your significant other, we need to stop spending. We need to stop spending my money, right? We need to stop spending my money. And she doesn't want to have the conversation. This should indicate to you this is the end of this relationship. I don't really care how long you guys been together, what the status of things are. When you're saying we need to tighten the purse strings on our discretionary having fun, vacationing fund, and that person doesn't even entertain a conversation. Again, I put the onus on him who walked into this and seems more timid to have a very real candid conversation with her, because I don't think he needed Caleb to point out just how bad this situation is. I'm sure it shows up in other aspects of that their sort of relationship. So even in the comments, people say, cancel the wedding. And if that's something on the table, I think that's you're in a very precarious, dangerous position. You should know what you're getting yourself into. So again, point of this video is to say who you tie yourself to is probably one of the biggest indicators of your financial success. And not saying that this person's rich or this person's poor, but if you guys have two disparate mindsets of things, of how things should go, then that's where you're going to find yourself in that sort of limbo. And typically, men are usually chasing behind a woman's emotions and trying to keep her pleased. This is a losing strategy, regardless of the money. But since this is a money focused video, this is a losing strategy. You cannot make enough. The normal man can't make enough that she can't outspend it. And here you're going into debt so she can have these memories, which, by the way, when this ends, when she finds someone else that can do more for her without the complaints, those precious memories, those won't be a thing, won't matter. She'll erase you in the history of it. Yeah, I went to Tahiti. How'd you get there? I can't really remember, right? But I had a great time, and then I went again with someone else and I had a great time. I'll have these precious memories. And you can woe, you can be upset, but this is part of she's showing you exactly who she is. We as men need to do a better job at realizing that and saying, okay, here, I see you. But let's take away the negativity about the relationship. Having a budget, setting a budget and setting a budget for travel and discretionary fun is a great idea. It's a phenomenal idea. As long as you stick to it, right? As long as you stick to it. I think budgets that are devoid of a fun discretionary category are usually doomed to fail, because no person is just going to go, grind it out financially and say, the beans and rice and no fun. I'm going to do this for 4 or 5 years until I get out of debt. No, you need to have something in there to remind you that your life, is worth living. Life is fun. I need to blow some steam. You budget for that. And it doesn't mean every month you use it. If your discretionary fund budget is $100 a month, well, you could let it build till you could do something a little more significant. But you'll still be within your budget. So even when you do that, it's kind of guilt-free. You earned this. If you set that for a year, you got $1,200 to do something fun. If that's a travel thing, that's a travel thing. If that's a couple pairs of clothes, then that's what it is. But you don't have to be so austere with your budget that you never feel like you have a chance to just blow some steam. So if you're in the need of getting your finances together, setting a budget and including something in there, maybe it's not $100, maybe it's $50 a month, maybe it's $25, whatever, but include that just so you can watch it build and watch, when the time comes, you'll be all right. When you spend that, you'll be all right. You won't feel bad about life.